Welcome back, ladies and gents. Welcome back, welcome back. It's that time of day again, folks, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Welcome back. I've got my good friend Marty Errico with me from Traders Audio this morning, providing us with our pit analysis today. My name is Joseph James. I'll be providing you with your technical analysis this morning. Welcome back to another edition of our crude oil morning prep. We've got a plan for you today, guys. We're going from the screen to the trading floor with a very unique and very powerful way to start your day. Now, I'm a technical analyst. Again, my name is Joseph. I run a live trade room over at SchoolOfTrade.com Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Come out and see me anytime you'd like. Of course, my technical approach, I like to consider it to be a top-down approach, which means I'm going to start with a slower time frame this morning. I'm going to work my way to analyzing to see what happened overnight, what happened coming out of London. I will anticipate direction at the open. And of course, I'm looking for those high percentage trading opportunities, right? We get lots of trading opportunities every day. It's those high percentage opportunities that we're looking to take advantage of. Lots of different ways we can trade, but we're looking for low risk, high reward opportunities, and we should be getting those here as early as 8 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. So once again, my job is pretty simple. I'm going to start with a slow time frame, work my way down. I'll analyze what happened overnight, and I'll try to anticipate the direction at the open. If I can anticipate direction at the open, I can identify high percentage opportunities using major levels of support and resistance. Looking good. Now, once I'm done with you here in Los Angeles, I'm going to kick you all the way across the country. We're going to go talk to Marty Errico. Don't forget, Marty and his partner Jeffrey do a great job every morning. Head over to tradersaudio.com and look them up on the NYMEX broadcast every morning at 8:50 a.m. Eastern Time. They do a great job there. Always find value in listening to them directly from the trading floor. And of course, Marty this morning is going to provide us with some very powerful analysis looking at the pit session levels today. And of course, this pit analysis means we're looking at market direction, intermarket divergence, right, comparing different energy markets, market internals, and of course, those always important option prices. Don't forget, guys, we have a big difference between the levels that we see in the pit and the levels that we see on our screens. So Marty will be addressing those very important pit session trading levels this morning, right? Oftentimes they can be elusive to us new traders. So keep in mind, Marty will be talking about different levels than I'll be talking about because he has different session times in the trading floor. All righty, you've heard enough out of me. Let's jump into some charts here. Let's take a look at what our day looks like today. Now, the first thing I want to do is address the situation, what day of the week, what week of the month, what month of the year. We always begin our trading day each morning with a prep. As I always say, if we don't know what the plan is today, how can we trade the plan? So every morning we put together a trading plan in our live trade room, and this morning we're going to be discussing the fact that today is the, right, well, as we always say, what day of the week, what week of the month, what month of the year are we in? Well, the day of the week right now, we are in the, right, we are at the end of the week. So we've got Friday, right? What week of the month? This is the fourth week of the month. Nothing special there. If it was the third week of the month, it'd be OPEX. This is the fourth week of the month, so we're not too worried about that. What day of the week? What week of the month? What month of the year? This is the month of July. We aren't at the end of the month yet. That'll be next week. But this is a summertime month. Right? We know we are in the summertime month of July. And of course, are we at the beginning or the end of the quarter? No. Do we have any OPEX concerns? No. Any rollover concerns? No. So we know right now this morning we have to deal with the fact today is a summertime Friday. We don't have much concern about the fourth week of the month. Like I said, if it was the last of the first of the month, if it was the third week of the month, okay, I can see that, but nothing to worry about there. This tells me right away here, red flag right away. All right, what do we know about a Friday? We know that Fridays, because human beings are creatures of habit, we know that Fridays are always going to be an early end to our morning. So we're going to get in early and we're going to get out early. Okay, now with that Friday personality, Friday personalities are oftentimes a little bit inconsistent. Think about the people who are trading on a Friday. You're either unaware of the situation or you have no choice but to trade. Okay, imagine you're working for a trading firm and your boss comes into your office and says, if you don't get out of this position, if you get into this position, if you don't do this before you leave today, you can bring your stuff with you and never come back, right? A lot of people have their bosses, their clients, right? Whoever they report to, they have to trade today. Then you've got the rookies, all right? Then you've got the rookies. As a new trader, you may have no idea that this is a dangerous personality today. As a brand new trader, you may have never traded a Friday, and you may not understand that trading late in the morning on a Friday morning is going to be a disaster waiting to happen. So whether you're ignorant to the idea, and there's nothing wrong with that, that's why I'm a teacher. We help teach people every day of the week about this stuff. Either you're unaware of it or you have no choice. And then we have that last portion of traders today. The last little bit of traders are the Hail Mary traders on a Friday morning. What's a Hail Mary trader? A Hail Mary trader is that poor soul that lost his shirt this week and now is going to put it all on black and hope to make it all back. I'm either going down with the ship or I'm going to be a hero, right? That's the idea of the Hail Mary traders on a Friday. So think about the people who are in the market on a Friday. It always reminds me of that famous quote by Warren Buffett, right? If you don't know who Warren Buffett is, go to Google and check it out. You got to know who that person is, right? And Warren Buffett was quoted as saying, he loves to play polo, but he won't play polo with anybody except an expert, a professional. And what he meant by that is it's easy to play with professionals, but when you start to play with rookies, you're liable to get your head taken off. And today, on a Friday, we have to remember that. It's easy to get wrapped up in the end of the week, those feel-good emotions, if you've been making money this week with us, right? Or if you've been losing money, it's easy to have that last-minute ditch trade, Hail Mary, right? Just let it all fly. So we know that a Friday price scenario, the price action on a Friday, is destined to be a little bit different because the people who are trading are going to be trading for different reasons. Now, we know that our job on a Friday is to get in early, be patient to wait for those perfect patterns. We take the patterns with confidence, but after 11 o'clock on a Friday, we're really concerned about price action. Okay, so get in early, get out early. Now, throw this into the summertime. Now there's a microscope on it. Now this magnifies that concern for a Friday morning. What do you think is going through the minds of all the traders sitting at their desks? Don't you think that Marty wants to get out of that pit early to go to Jones Beach? Absolutely he does, right? Nobody wants to work late on the summertime Friday. So put yourself in your colleague's shoes. Put yourself in every other trader's on the planet's shoes, right? And think about what would they be thinking, because that's most likely how I need to be thinking today. Fridays are always a short day. A summertime Friday, guys, I can almost smell the barbecue grill getting fired up right now, right? We know as soon as this news comes out today, things are going to begin to slow down incrementally. So time is not on our side this morning, guys. It's a summertime Friday. Mark my words. Be careful out there. We can see major news at 9:55 a.m. This consumer sentiment is kind of an orange star news event. So we don't have any red star news, right? So there's no red star news this morning, as we saw two of them yesterday. No red star news, so we're not expecting a big runner scenario today. It is a Friday, which means we may see short covering rallies, people taking profit at highs. We may see some dramatic moves towards the end of the morning this morning as the volume really dries up and gets illiquid. But from what I see so far here on this news this morning, 9:55 a.m. tells me that we are going to see the meat and potatoes between 9:30 and 10:30 this morning. Mark my words, guys. After 10:30 a.m. this morning, though, we've really got to be careful with what we're doing here, trading crude, nat gas, anything. All right, guys? Once you start smelling the exhaust from the boat firing up, that's when you know it's time to finish off this summertime Friday and head on to the weekend. All right? The name of the game today is protect that capital, guys. We've had a great week so far this week. It's all about protecting capital as we go into the end of the week, end of the weekend. Looking at the 4-hour chart here on crude oil futures, we've seen this symmetry pattern before. Do you remember yesterday we talked about that 104.08? Yep, you got it. That was where we got our best trading opportunities on Thursday morning in our live trade room. Bounced off that 104.08, went all the way up as high as 105.87, and this is going to be our trading range. 105.87 down to 104.08. This is posted for you guys on the blog today. I will expect price to bounce off this support, so I will be looking to buy the 104.08. I am looking to sell short below the 104.08 if we do blow right through it. I've got 103.30, and of course that is where we'll look for another buying opportunity courtesy of this 4-hour anchor chart. This will be the second time we've tested the 104.08. So think about that brick wall. The first time we test it, we don't do very much. The second time we test it, we're likely to go through it, but look for that fake out breakout and buy the return going higher above that 104.08. If it blows right through it, wave patterns to the short side down to 103.30. And again, we're going to use that 103.30 as another bounce and look to buy the bounce. If we keep on going, if this thing just takes off the downside, we're selling short again below 103.30. I have a target buy zone around 103 even, and of course all the way down at 169, 175. I don't think we're going to get down to that 100 even area this morning. I would imagine we're probably going to stay inside of this range here today. So look for this trading range to be our most important clue on the 4-hour. Moving forward, move down to a 1-hour chart, and the 1-hour chart here shows us a lot more information. And now we begin to see just how cluttersome this area is. Look at the accumulation of volume here as we traded sideways yesterday. Now we can see there's that 10 or that 105.87, that 104.08. Again, summertime Friday, this might get some legs here to really run, but I have a funny feeling though we're going to see this thing probably push through the 104.08. We'll probably get the fake out breakout back higher here. And again, I'm going to treat this as the range to trade inside of today. I'll be buying at this support. I'll be selling at the resistance. And I'm going to try to stay away from the middle of this range, guys. The middle around this 105 even. This 105 even is kind of screaming at you to be careful right there in the middle of that range. So use that trading range as our guide, everybody. We're going to buy those lows and sell those highs. Moving down to our entry chart here, we really don't get a lot more out of the entry chart this morning. We can see we have changed from bullish to bearish. This red cloud cover tells us that we are bearish. We are looking to sell short. However, we do know that we don't want to sell short into range lows. We will have to either see a bounce to get short, or we'll have to look for new lower lows to get short here. Again, there's that 104.08. So a very easy to see scenario here on crude so far. Look over at the VIP chart. Here's a 5-minute VIP chart, and I just wanted to illustrate for you guys. The 5-minute VIP chart this morning really does a good job at showing us where we are in this big scheme of things. Right away, we notice the previous low of day at 104.08, the previous high of day at 105.87. We've been repeating this number over and over and over again. We've talked about this. This is the third time we've mentioned these two numbers today. So we know this range is important. Now, real quick, what is this 104? What is this 104.42? 104.42 is the prior week's low. So think about what that tells us. The prior week low, what does that tell us right now? If I am above the prior week's low, that means the buyers have now fought off those sellers and they've managed to keep price above that. Because remember, last week we saw these tremendous highs. And so this would be the week that we would collapse off those highs. But not so fast. These buyers, as you can see here, they tried to get below the 104.42 on Thursday. This morning, they're trading right at the prior week's lows here again this morning on Friday. Guys, if we end up bouncing again and going higher, I would imagine this price is going to continue to go higher here today. This will be the second time we've tried to get below that previous week's low. So remember how I talked about earlier, we were going to probably see price go through the 104.08 and then come up? That looks to be the highest percentage trade this morning. So look for price to test the previous low of day. Again, this is the second time we're going to test that 104.08. So just like that brick wall, we don't expect it to hold perfectly the second time. I would expect price to go down, try to keep going, but lose control and then slip and jump right back up. If we can get that jump right back up, that's where we're going to probably see our best trades today. That's where we'll probably get our best personality today. And boy, it may take us all the way until 10 o'clock because we have that major news at 9:55 this morning. So stay patient. I'm going to be looking closely at what happens at this 104.08. I'm going to be paying very close, attention to the volume and the market personality. Summertime Friday tells me I've got to be on my best behavior this morning. I've got to keep my emotions under control. I've got to make sure I follow my entry and exit rules. I can't get too aggressive this morning, and I certainly can't predict. I need to wait to react when we see the best market personality, higher highs, lower lows, good volume coming into the market. You know what I'm talking about on crude, right? When crude oil is moving, you can see it moving, you can feel it moving, and we want to participate when it's moving. When it's slow and sleepy, kick your feet back up on the desk, be ready for anything, but stay patient. Guys, that's what I'm seeing on my end this morning, a relatively concerning summertime Friday, but I think we've got a pretty good plan put together here. I'm thinking this morning we're going to go higher here after failing at 104.08. But you know what? I'm just a lonely old day trader, though. Marty, what are you seeing over there, my friend? And Marty, good to have you here with us. Are you seeing what's the personnel of the floor this morning? Is it quiet? Is it moving? What's going on over there?
Well, good morning, JJ, on a Friday here. Well, so far, I mean, we are just about an hour or two from the open or so. So we're kind of just waiting for the opening bell. Okay, so what I was thinking yesterday was overall the bottoming of this trend kind of coming in around the I said 104.25. Okay, so we're a few ticks off at 104.7, I believe, being that low from yesterday, and I believe that 104.7 can still hold. And as JJ said, trade within the range. Now we're approaching the lower end of our channel here on our chart here, and you can see right now we're in the middle of it, but we're going to be approaching it once we get down to that 104.07, and we're going to be looking for a little bit of a buying opportunity there. Now, I don't think we get a breakout in either way, but I still see if this market holds the 104 level, we could still be bullish, and we'll get another test back up towards those 105 halves, and then we'll continue to trade a little bit higher, depending on them where we open on Sunday. So my plan is just to really trade within range, and I think that's what we're kind of seeing across the board right now is crude is just kind of drifting lower towards the bottom of its range. Let's take a look across the board, ladies and gentlemen. I got it up here for you. We're going to see that all of our markets are lower, right? You get the little red arrow there, but we're sideways, so it's kind of a good lower, okay? So we're lower, sideways on the crude, on the RBOB, and on the heating oil. We see it on the Brent as well. Again, your crude right now is just holding those levels around the 104.30, 104.40 right now, and you got your RBOB and your heating oil, but both just sitting around their big round numbers. Again, on the RBOB, we're about 299, heating oil sitting at about the 302 level. So overall, we're just down about a few pennies on the day across the board, and we're just looking at us to come into some buying opportunities here in this 8 o'clock hour to buy the low of our sideways range. So far, your dollar is a little bit lower this morning as well, trading at 81.78 even. Overall, your dollar is down about 50 points, 50 ticks, 25 points or so on the day so far. The euro's up about 30, 40 points here. And you can see the rest of your commodity currencies a little bit higher to unchanged. Again, that's your risk-on sentiment, so we are having the risk-on sentiment. The spreads this morning, if you look with me at the spreads real quickly, you'll see that your spreads right now are pointing for a down market, a little bit of a bearish type sentiment, but we're going to be keeping our eyes on all of our spreads that we watch. That's the Brent WTI spread. That's why you see a red and a green arrow, because they're sideways right now. And that's what it's representing right now, sideways trading range. So the spreads are giving me that indication that, you know, the Brent WTI spread was at parity last Friday, which means 0, and now we're up to about 240 on the spread, a little bit of backwardation. Crude trades lower. If the spread really starts to tighten up, you'll see crude make a test for that 110. So what I'm thinking is we hold 104 today, right? We get a nice buying opportunity near that 104.07, 104.25, and then we trade back up towards the higher end of the range just like yesterday. And if we can close and settle above those 105 halves, we can make another run towards that 110, and the spread will start to tighten up. We'll see it in the front month calendars. We'll see it in the Brent WTI, and we'll start to get all these compensating factors for upside. So right now your spreads are sideways. The Brent WTI spread trades at about 247, and overall, if that spread trades down to $2 today, we'll see crude back at $1.50, 150 I should say, 105.50. There we go, 105.50. We'll see that crude back at it. If we look at the spreads with me this morning, you'll see the calendar spreads are starting to tightening up just a bit, so that's giving me the indication that we're going to be buying these lows. Okay, so those calendar spreads right there are giving us the indication. As we look at the SEPOC, it's about 88 cents, SEP Novi 216, SEP Dees 340. They're all in contango by about 10 cents or so, which is bullish. So volatility still holds firm, steady for the most part. Volatility at about 23% of the implied vol this morning. So volatility also holding steady and firm, which is another bullish indication. Before we take a look at some levels, as I mentioned, so the crude in its bearish channel looking to come in and buy these lows on the bearish channel here. As you can see, we have that the 104.07 and also the 104.25 level, as we're going to be looking to come in and again buy these lows one more time here. So overall, we're going to be looking for just that kind of bullish sentiment here to get us back up to that 105.5 and then possibly even trade a little bit higher. Looking at the natural gas, you can see we're still in that wedge right now. We're kind of approaching some big support. Right on the natural gas, I got that 360 half. I got 355.50, 355.20, and 354.50. And again, these are all levels of support that we want to be buying. And overall, this would be your highest percentage trade right over here at the low, buying the support below the channel. Right? Haven't you heard JJ say that before? The wedge, I should say, buying the support below the wedge is the highest percentage trade. So again, we're going to be looking for a little bit of a buying opportunity today in natural gas, as we did get a short-term pop-up after inventory numbers yesterday, but overall a little bit of a sell-off afterwards as we had a build in inventories, but a little bit less than expected. So again, overall that trading plan did work out yesterday in the Natty. Continuing on, ladies and gentlemen, let's rock and roll over to our levels here as well on a Friday. Righty guys, July 26th, you can see we do have our pit session levels for your crude. And crude's pit session yesterday had a high up at 105.87. Once again, 105.87 your high, your low, 104.08, right? 104.08. Closing settlement number, bounce off those lows and close and settle the day at those 105 halves. So again, the 105 halves is going to be a little bit of a profit target here that we're going to be looking at if we bounce off these lows of 104.07, 104.25 as we trade 104 half right now. If you look with me here, open interest here currently stands 394,167, indicating that there are some shorts in this market now as it increased over about 15,000 in the last couple of days. So again, showing us that there is going to be some shorts in the market in the open interest. Daily pivot today, 105.15. Once again, 105.15, which we are trading below at the moment by about 90 cents or so, as we are continuing now to watch this daily pivot kind of hold as some upwards resistance now. Resistance above, I got 106.22, 106.94, 108.79, and 110.21. Support down below, we got 104.43, which we are trading at right now. That's why we're kind of held up on this 104.50 level, because 104.43 was our first level of support, and we're kind of holding on this level right now. I could imagine we kind of open around this level as well. 103.36, second level support, that would create the downtrend if we get on by that level and into the 102 level. 102.57, I believe, starts the downtrend, and then we have 101.57. Alrighty, guys, so once again, we are going to be taking a quick look at your options as well. In the pit yesterday, we saw some profit taking and then into buying the dip. So again, they come in and they buy the dip. As we saw a little bit of profit taking from the paper, and then they come in and they buy the dip. In the morning they sell, in the afternoon they buy, and that's basically the sentiment there from yesterday's trade, and I believe it's kind of the same today. I think there'll be strong buyers off the bell, and I think that we could probably hold this uptrend if we stay above. Once again, the key is to stay above yesterday's low and the 104 even level. Again, even if we do start to chop around that 103, 104 level, that will still be a little bit of a chop zone. The true downtrend doesn't start till we get down to about 102.50. So 102.57 is exact level. So be prepared for that. Again, it's summertime Friday. Expect some sideways chop. I really don't see much here in this market right now, except just a little bit of a bid to come back in and erase the losses as we trade within the sideways range. Natty gas, as I mentioned, we're looking for some buying opportunities in natural gas as we are proceeding down towards the lower end of our balance area and the lower end of our really balance area in the lower extreme of this wedge, right? We're going to be looking for some buying opportunities. So what I have for you is a pit session high from yesterday's trade up at 375.70. Your low down at 364.10. Closing settlement number 365.10. Your daily pivot today 368.30. Right now we currently trade on the natural gas SEP contract at 361.60. So we're just below that daily pivot as we are coming up here now on some support at 360.90. Again, first level support 360.90. As we trade 361.60, you can see, let me just show you the chart real quick, that we are kind of approaching that first level of support here on the SEP contract, and we're going to see if this can continue to hold here. So that's going to be key. If that support holds, we're coming up on that, see, lower end of the channel, as I mentioned on your natural gas here, right? See that? So lower end of the lower end of the channel, lower end of the range, and we're going to be looking to buy that. So again, as I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, again, your first level support is going to be pretty important here, 360.90, 356.70, and also I have 345.10. Again, I'm really in love with that 356.70 level. That would be the ultimate low that we'd be buying today, right? Resistance up above, I got 372.5, 379.90, and 391.5. So again, these are your levels here. Open interest continuing to kind of rise just a bit, 298,661, indicating that the shorts are in the market. But again, that open interest can quickly evaporate and get these shorts out of the market by the low of the range. And we are watching just a little bit of upside call here around the 355 to 360 level. Again, they buy the 355, 360 calls this morning as we are watching them buy the lows of this range. So it kind of makes sense across the board. It's making sense in the crude as well. But expect somewhat of a slow, subdued type trading day as we are in a summertime Friday mode, if you will. So again, we could expect very thin type trade here as we have a lot of guys missing from the pit, and they are kind of heading out for an early vacation. Yesterday was kind of light as well. Overall, as I mentioned, it was mainly bulk of it was paper activity, again selling into the morning and then buying in towards the afternoon, buying that 104. See the 104.25 level and the 104.408. These two levels here. That's basically the levels that the paper were buying. These two levels right there. So let's see if they buy it again because they, bulk buying was paper. Again, they sold in the morning, they bought in the afternoon. Took off a little bit of profit towards the close, and now we can probably see the same thing happen again. If not, listen in for what paper's doing today. They've been really kind of controlling the market as it's kind of light on the local activity inside the pit this morning. So again, that's really about it here. Continue to watch volatility. It's holding steady and firm. This is what's holding the market higher along with those spreads as we are ready to rock and roll here on a Friday morning here. Opening up in just about an hour. I'm going to throw it back over to JJ. I'll see you all in about 50 minutes. Give you guys that pre-pit session commentary, and then we're going to be ready to rock and roll for the opening bell. New day, fresh start coming your way at 9 o'clock.
Thanks a lot, Marty. As always appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule over there. Thanks for braving the elements of the NYMEX exchange. And are they going to let you out early to go to Jones Beach? Isn't there a beach within striking distance of you? I'm sure you guys are trying to get out of there, right?
Yeah. I'm going to maybe leave a little early, but
yeah, no rest.
2:30 still early.
No rest for all you professionals out there in the pit, huh? That's all right. Well, guys, hey, it's been a great call today. Thank you so much for coming out and joining us. Marty, thank you for being here with us. Don't forget to go see Marty and his partner Jeffrey at Traders Audio. Give him a shout over at Marty at TradersAudio.com. My name is Joseph James. I'm at JJ at School of Trade. Guys, another great week comes up to an end. We get a few days off here. We'll see you back here for a Monday edition. Now, next week is the first week or the last week of the month, so we're starting to go into the end of the month. We get a lot of action for crude oil as we go into the end of the month. A lot of different types of buyers and sellers enter the market towards the end of the month, so look out for that. As we wrap up the week here, have a great weekend. Enjoy the summertime weekend. Remember what we talked about today. Time is not on our side. We got to be on our best behavior. And we're looking at most likely the buying opportunities there around that 104 even area. Guys, I'll see you in our live trade room for all of our students, and I'll catch you guys on Monday morning. Remember, guys, to learn it so you can earn it, and have yourself a great weekend. We'll see you Monday morning at 7:30 a.m. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.